Give a hoot, don't pollute. That's right. Give a hoot, don't pollute. That's like what the Hootie the Owl said. Was it Woodsy the Owl? Sorry, it's Woodsy the Owl. I know. Don't give a hoot, don't pollute. That's Woodsy the Owl. That's right. Because it's Superb Owl Day. That's right. Hi, how are you, everyone? Welcome, everyone. It's time for the Comics Talk with Reverend Sully. It's our Sunday new review show. Yes, it's our weekly live stream. And welcome to everyone watching this live and on the replay a little later. Cheers. Got some soda pop. Cream soda. This stuff's good. And it's made with cane sugar, not high fructose corn syrup. Well, hello there, Dwayne Muth. Happy Superb Owl Sunday to you. Give a hoot. Give a hoot. And we read comic books. We tune in every Sunday here at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. And also we do a Wednesday show for new releases, a new release preview day. That starts at 4 p.m. when I can enjoy it myself and watch it with you. I'm still at work. I had to adjust the time on that one. But good to see everyone. And we've got, what do we got? Funny books. It's a bag full of funny books that we got at the local comic book shop this week. We'll find out at the end of the show what's in the bag. That's right. I think I have to work on my my DJ voice here. Sometimes I get a little too excited, and my voice tends to soar into higher registers that could be mocked, could be clipped. I don't care. It's my voice. But, hopefully I can get more podcast views or listens. There's a podcast feature on this thing. I just started that. It's out there. Hello, AL. Good to see you. Welcome and happy Sunday to everyone out there in TV land. Indeed, I brought a little soda pop. We call it tonic here in Boston. Yes, made with cane sugar. No high fructose corn syrup in this. Hello, Pika Shades. Good to see you too. Awesome evening, everybody. Yeah, we read the owl was the pet of Dr. Midnight, Golden Age wackiness. The owl is a predator too. It's a hunting bird, Gee, with sharp talons and keen eyesight. This is true. Owls are hunters. We are going to review some comic books that I read this week, and then we're going to find out what I actually paid money for. I have access to what I call my digital pirate chest full of comic books. And what did we read this week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 DC comics new this week. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different Marvel comics this week. And I'm blessed and grateful that I have all these comics to read. It does, yeah. And yeah, it's a treat all the same. That's true. I don't drink soda the way I used to, or soda's a treat. It's not water. If you're thirsty, drink water. I drink coffee, I drink water, and then less and less, but drink beer, which is kind of just as bad as a soda pop. But instead of beer on this Superb Owl Sunday, I'm going to have a soda pop. Call it a day. The Owl is a Daredevil and Spider-Man villain too, right? Doesn't the Owl fight Spider-Man occasionally? Like, well, they all share Marvel Manhattan. So like that's like the stomping grounds for Marvel superheroes. Pretty much. Marvel Manhattan is a great place, great backdrop for all this, these superhero stories. And one thing I've always liked myself are water towers on top of the buildings, because if you've been in New York City, you know what New York City looks like. And so New York City is like a real character in these Marvel books, especially like under the hand of someone like Frank Miller or John Romita Jr. The people that just live in this, people who live in the city. Now, John Romita Jr. grew up there, and Frank Miller ended up there, but lived there for decades. And I guess both of them share Daredevil as well, and know how to write, draw these rooftops and dark alleys and these side streets of New York City. Oh, thank you so much, AL. Happy New Year, everyone! Say Happy New Year to it's Happy Lunar New Year, Happy Chinese New Year, and that's AL's culture. And it's thank you for stopping in with us on your holiday, on Happy New Year. It's the year of the dragon. See, my voice had just raised a couple of registers there, and I should really watch that. Good to see you, James. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? The screenwriter himself in the house. If we have any questions about story and act structure and story beats and resolutions and closures and falling and rising action, well, James is here with us. And let's see, Superman 78 issue 4 on DC Comics. It's the second volume in Robert Venditti's Superman 78 series, which is great because this is really recaptures the spirit and vibe, the feeling, and the look of Richard Donner's 1978 Superman movie. Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Gene Hackman, and who played Perry White? Jackie Cooper. And they just, like, it really throws a new story at us with old elements. It kind of makes a change. It makes, Metallo into a Soviet operative. It's like, nobody cares what the Soviet Union is right now. But in 1978, we were in the middle of the Cold War, and we did have a real culture war going on then. We had Western culture versus the culture of communism, which was this huge landmass of Russia, the Soviet satellite states, the USSR, the Republic of these Soviet satellites, and the Union of that Soviet, and being right next to China. And yeah. I live in the outer boroughs and still considered NYC the most. But yes, because I grew up in South Boston and Dorchester and Jamaica Plain and Roslindale, which is all the way out there in BFE. And Roslindale would be like the Palisades of Gotham City. You know what I mean? It's over the bridge, and there's no bridge, no. But East Boston is over the bridge too. I mean, but it's right there. East Boston's closer to, probably, right there. It's so close to downtown Boston. Charlestown's like literally in Boston. It's like kind of like the Hell's Kitchen of it. And hey, JK, good to see you. How are you? Good to see everyone coming in. And grab a seat and grab something to drink. Yeah, we have soda pop today. We have Suicide Squad. Oh, yeah, sorry. Superman 78, Robert Venditti. Great pencils, great art. Really fun. It's issue 4, probably of 6. That's how they go. It's written for the trade, and it's fun. Yeah, and for anyone that likes the Superman movies, the old ones of Christopher Reeve, you got something to look forward to here. There's a lot of good Superman stories out right now. We had Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics. Things are looking up for Jason Aaron's Action Comics as well. I personally don't care for Bizarro stories, so this might be where I get off the train for a while. I can always go back and buy them, but this coming Wednesday, the new Action Comics comes out. Am I going to get it? I don't know. Maybe not. I got the last one, that first issue of the new Jason Aaron run here. I love the Philip Kennedy Johnson story. It was nice. It was he had brought in new players. He expanded the Superman family. He really used the Superman family as there was an old comic that I grew up with in the 70s called Superman Family. And it had Supergirl and Superboy. It just it really fleshed out all that stuff. JK says 78 has been a slower burn, but good. I agree. Pika Shade's been trying to finish 2 scripts for 2 separate videos at the same time. That's called multitasking. Indeed. Suicide Squad Kill Arkham Asylum, issue 1 of 5. And this is a prequel to the ballyhooed Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game. So this is set in, and it even says so in the opening of the of this comic book, that it's set in the Arkham world. So yeah, there you go. There are your rules. It's all set. So maybe your Justice, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, that could be an alternate future and a divergent timeline. Well, hey, Fear Marnock, how are you doing? I love your icon, by the way. I'm a huge Hunter S. Thompson fan, and I always wanted to style myself as a gonzo journalist myself. But, I don't care for Aaron's writing, but Action Comics wasn't bad. Jim at Weird Science convinced me to try it. Yeah, hello, Yule Carter. Good to see you, man. Here's my denogonizing. Happy Superb Owl Sunday. And hopefully Yule, are you pulling for the San Diego 49ers? Is the Bay Area excited for this? And that's that. That soda pop is done. Don't worry, we brought a jug of water. Be water, my friend. From our Boston studios, which is down the street from the corner. Yeah, social media of course. It's been a long day. It's been a long time since Steve Young. It really has. But yeah, I opened Suicide Squad Kill Arkham Asylum 1 of 5. I read the first 3 pages, and I didn't finish it. I just said, fuck it. No thanks. Shazam number 8, and interesting way to wrap up the story. I mean, it's not bad. I like it a lot. It's Mark Waid and pretty good art by Goran Suzuka, and which is he's no Dan Mora, but he doesn't have to be. He's himself, and he's pretty. I like his style. I like for the most part. I like the art in this too, and with the exception of some of the digital filters, like Talking Tawny wears a plaid blazer, and it just doesn't. There's just a plaid filter. It looks so flat. It doesn't, you know what I mean? There's no folds to to the coat. I mean, it's like it doesn't respect its own light source, and it just stands really out. And but we have talking dinosaurs and space antics and really annoying children. And I'm looking at one of these panels right now, and they try to put shadowing on it to respect light source, and it's just more of like and a little bit of hatching. I don't see it. It's too. Yeah. Oh gosh, should I? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. No. Cancel. Which one? Oh yeah, share screen. All right. Share screen. Window. Okay. See this? You see what I'm talking about here? I'm like right over here. This is Talking Tawny. And do you see the plaid? All right. Now we can see we have lines. We have line work. All right. And that would be in the shoulder and in these creases, these lines here that are meant to represent creases. And then we have shadowing effects. All right. These aren't inks. This is a gradient thing. You know what I mean? That's a filter, because you're letting in some of the other that you have the colors behind it too. You can still see of green and yellow, but the lines, they don't. Yeah. Hey, Brandon, good to see you. How are you? Exactly. And yeah, I mean the art's pretty good, and I think there's going to be a writer change next month. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't bought a new issue of Shazam. I think I stopped buying at issue 3 or 4, but it's fun. And what? What did I do now? And yeah, I mean, just that kind of stuff. Just those digital effects, those digital filters. It reeks of just laziness. And but it is commercial art though. All right. This isn't high art. Grumpy old fan. Am I? Let's see. We have Poison Ivy issue 19 by G. Willow Wilson and company. And it's really good. I enjoyed the heck out of it. G. Willow Wilson's writing, and Takara is doing the art. And it's about Pamela Isley and meeting like all of these different DC botany kind of people. There's Dr. Jason Woodrue, and then there's Alec Holland and his wife, and like everyone here is going to be bound by the green sooner or later. World's Finest is losing its appeal, and Shazam got the team shift. It's easy, yeah. Hop off the good ship, Mark Waid, yeah, huh? And but I've been enjoying it for the past couple of issues here, the Poison Ivy. So just talk about women writers. Speak well of G. Willow Wilson. She's doing a really good job. She's doing the yeoman's work over there on Poison Ivy. Just a respectable title. I mean, it's got pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with that title so far. I think I've read the past 8 issues. Neil Pavois Zod number 2. We'll stick a pin in that. We got everybody's favorite. Oh, it's coming to an end. It's Fire and Ice. Welcome to Smallville number 6 by Joanne Starer, who blocked me on Twitter. Oh boy, I wish I had a fuck to give about this book. It's like this was like a nothing sandwich. I mean, just I can say a couple of good things about it. Like we had some Terry and Rachel Dodson covers. Those were really nice. And the colors on the interior art I liked because they were fetching and eye popping, and everything didn't turn into a morass of modern purple. You know, and you know that the art was it was satisfactory. You know, it's just the story was just all over the place. You know, just like I can't describe it without sounding misogynistic because it's all of the creators involved, from the writer, the artists, the colorists, to the editors, are all ladies. And it just I think it's one of those I think it's one of those titles that is like it might be critique proof because of the identity of its creators. Sure, let them have it then. Yeah, like you can have it. Like yeah, cooey cooey cooey. It just sounds funny, and it's kind of like it's kind of like what? Okay, let's look it up. You know, because this is why we have wikis. Cooey, cooey, cooey. You ever wondered what cooey 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 was? Cooey 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 is an island in the South Pacific. Its first appearance was in Justice League International Annual number 3, which is July of 1989. And it was most famously known as the location for Blue Beetle and Booster Gold's ill-fated casino, known as Club JLI. And it's a sentient island. So it's kind of like DC's version of Krakoa. Yeah, same kind of thing, you know, the island that's alive. Yeah, JK says you've been met on Neil before Zod. I thought I was going to really enjoy it, but not so much. Yeah, it's a slow burn, but it is, you know, it's all about the bad guys, which I'm a little bit, you know, like, ooh, I mean, you can see some bad guys um cut loose a bit and be bad guys and bad gals, big bads, you know. Yeah, for that first issue, I mean, Drew Zod had no qualms about giving Lorzod, you know, his son, the good old Marshall, good old um, good old Marshall punishment there, you know. Let's see. Yeah, but Fire is the last issue of Fire and Ice, and it's over. That's the best thing we can say about this book, that it's over. There was no information on the League of Comics Geek. Was it? Let's look at leagueofcomicgeeks.com. When you click on that last issue, there's no order information for an upcoming trade paperback. So just because these things, you know, are 6-issue minis, does it always mean that they're immediately going to a trade paperback? I mean, will it eventually be collected? And and it's spelled cooey 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 as Kooey, and it's yeah, it's Cooey 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 is an island in the South Pacific. The island was revealed to be a sentient creature that would occasionally decide to uproot itself and wander about on its own. And a short time later, Cooey 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 was seemingly destroyed by a tidal wave sent by extra-dimensional invaders. How about that? Aw. And here's something that you know, Joanne Starr, you know, Justice League Europe, Sorceress, the Silver Sorceress, and Blue Jay are buried on Kui Kui Kui. There was like no mention of that, but there was Silly Billy. That was funny because that's like a your boy Zach like insult. So like, is there some like legit culture war shit going on in this book with a why not striking back at the Chuds? Is there some Chud dunking going on in this book? Who cares? Fuck it. Then there's DC's How to Lose a Guy Gardner in 10 Days 2024, which is an anthology book. It's cutesy. It's meant for Valentine's Day. It's got a great cover by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti. I think the cover is wonderful. And where is it? I will show this. I will share the screen. I will share the screen. Come on, come over here and share the screen yourself. You want to. Don't use a gun, use a knife. Here we go. Here's How to Lose a Guy Gardner in 10 Days. Here's that. Yeah, this is the Palmiotti, the Connor Palmiotti cover. I love it. I love the look on Tora's face. I love the look on Bee's face. I love the look on Power Girl's face. Who's this? Who's the girl with this? Is that? I don't know. I've read this and was she even in the book? That's not Santana. Is that what's your face from Wild Voodoo? Is that Voodoo from Wildstorm? Yeah, Krakoa, Ascension Island. Isn't that Krakoa? Exactly. But Krakoa was made back in like 1975 for I think the first appearance of Krakoa was the all new, all different giant size X-Men #1, 1975. You know, the second Genesis premiere, the new team with Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine, Warpath. Oh, no, Thunderbird. Warpath was his kid brother. And yeah. Hoochie Coochie Island. Yes. Yeah, the Nightwing Batgirl story wasn't that bad. I mean, I don't know if we should even be talking about this because I don't want to, I don't want to be part of conversations about sensitive material sometimes. I don't know what that does to the channel or to but it's the John Constantine story. And I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. I haven't heard any controversy of it because this is it's an 80-page giant. And so this is a one shot. Not many people are going to get it. Not many people are going to read it. And it's a pretty decent Constantine short story. And it's set in the past in Liverpool when him and Gaz were kids. I mean, they were looked to be about maybe not, they couldn't be even more than 12 years old or so. Or, I mean, they don't, or maybe 13, they look like, preteens. So, I mean, I don't know. There's just like some modernity in there. And it was that particular story was edited by Katie Kubert, and who is taking over the Batman titles, the Bat families. And she's done a lot of things with modernity, capital M, modernity, like, normalizations of things. So there's a kind of like I don't know, it felt kind of weird. And I don't know if it was appropriate for DC Comics, or maybe is this DC Comics doing that whole activism thing and normalization thing? Is this some culture war shit? I don't know. But maybe we should just forget about it too. That might be better. There's Birds of Prey #6, which wasn't that bad. It closes the Megadeth's tale. We go back to the regular art team. First page. Yeah, Romero, and all's well that ends well for the for the Birds of Prey, but it ends on a nice note where it looks like we're going to get more. So there should be an issue number 7 or a new issue number 1 eventually. Don't know. And late 70s GL, and she dated Hal. But of course. Let's see. What else did we read this week from the DC Comics? Oh, yeah. Batman 142, which is Joker Year 1, Part 1. And that was a giant miss for me. I don't care. We talked about it yesterday. Wes had me on his show yesterday. He had me on the Comics Aficionados out there with Yule Carter. And it's always good to hang with you. And Aaron Sparrow and Doc and Javane. And it's Wes, me, Doc, Yule, Javane, Aaron. That's 6. Yes. And that was one of our topics yesterday. And this is going to be a weekly. This is, I mean, I know that. Listen, I'm a big Batman fan. I'm a big Batman fan. I've done my thinking of Joker over the years. I was there in 1988. I was 15 years old, and that's when Killing Joke came out, and I got Killing Joke new off the shelves, and it was revolutionary. And it was between Dark Knight Returns, which is just wrapped up the year before. You know, it took a whole year for that to publish. From that went from like 86 to 87. You had this like huge Batman time, and then in 89 comes the Tim Burton movie, which once again fiddles with Joker's origin story. And Joker's origin story goes way back to Detective Comics in 1951, which establishes the Red Hood falling into a vat of chemicals and then changing him into the chalk-skinned, grinning, green-haired menace that he is. So that's been part of the Joker story, sure. And but now getting into I call it like modern convolution, because now you have the 3 Jokers. What is the 3 Jokers? I barely know what the 3 Jokers are. I barely care. But I care even less. I mean, it started way back with I think it was Jeff Johns on Justice League, and Batman was at the Source Wall in the Mobius chair, and he asked, "Who is the Joker?" And the chair answered, "Which one?" And that sets up Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok's 3 Jokers. And apparently there have been 3 Jokers out there the entire time, which justifies the gold and silver and current age, iterations, the crown prince of crime to the world's first fully functional homicidal artist, that spectrum of Joker. Me personally, I think that's a stupid way to surmise Joker. I mean, Joker is a mystery. Joker is aloof. Joker is not as concrete as Batman. Joker is a cipher. Joker is a blank slate. Joker is what anything that story needs to give Batman tension, stakes, drama, and action. And so Joker is a wonderful character. It can be anything. That's the whole thing. But by the time Killing Joke comes out in 1988, and then you have 1989, you have Tim Burton's Batman, which it doesn't rip off the Alan Moore from the year before. They're both taking from a little bit from that 1951 falling into the vat of chemicals. And just without the Red Hood, in the movie. Yet they both identify the Joker. They both give him a backstory, and one, the failed comedian trying to make ends meet, and support his little family. Then tragedy occurs, the one bad day, and versus the gangster Jack Napier. So now we have, like, there's a lot of need to fill in those spaces. We also brought up like, a lot of us came up, when you over define someone's origin story. We all of us agreed on Wolverine. Wolverine was such a better character when we knew less about him, when he didn't have the fleshed out origin of James Howlett, and the Bone Claws days, and just like there was just something cooler about the mysterious stranger. Yeah, I'm over Joker and Harley. Yeah, I mean, I think they would be better if they were together, like in Batman the Animated Series, in my humble opinion. I mean, but that's a good way to put it. I like that. And but you can't have Joker and Harley together. That's bad. Bad. What's over on Marvel Comics? We had X-Men number 31, written by Jerry Duggan with art by Phil Noto. And I noticed this a long time ago about Phil Noto. I like him and I like his work. And he draws great faces, but I don't think he draws great action scenes. Sometimes they're a little flat. And that they, and just there's a lot of that in this book. A lot of weird kind of, if it's not like a story, if it's not like a talking scene or a bedroom scene or a hospital scene. I mean, some of his action scenes are just like flat, and but it's hard for me to like it. But he's such a good artist though, and I like his art. Yeah. I don't really, I find him to be it's not odd for him to be paired with Jerry Duggan at all. I mean, they're those two are battery partners going back, spanning over two decades now. But, okay, later haters. Oh, no, laters. I thought it said later haters. What? Laters all heading out now. Happy New Year, JL. Thank you so very much. At least Joke is insane while Vlad is rational. Find it odd that Joker and Harley can't be together because it's toxic, but Alan Scott and Glad. Exactly. Be glad. GLADD for Vlad. Yeah, I guess. But, I mean, just like, I thought that was telegraphed a mile away. This is going to be like The Spy Who Loved Me. The Red Lantern's going to be, Alan Scott's boyfriend or something. Oh my goodness, I was right. There was Wolverine Madripoor Nights, written by Chris Claremont, and with decent art by Edgar Salazar. And this literally takes place after Uncanny X-Men number 268. And it says so. And I know that these are the cheap member berry nostalgic titles that, as we say, oh, they don't make comics for us anymore. No, these are the comics they're making for the aged fan. It's like they don't want to, like, they go to a very safe space, and that's a 0.1 issue. Marvel invented this a while back, the 0.1 concept. It's like, hey, it's Spider-Man issue 301.1. This is like set right there when Venom first appeared. I'm just making that up. It might be but oh, really? Superman versus Meishi. I've been enjoying that when I get my hands on it. It is cute. It's really fun. And I like fun in comic books. I really do. But the Superman Madripoor Nights was fun, and it had all this that nice Chris Claremont narrative. The only thing I felt was missing was the lettering. And it's not that I'm knocking on Corey Petit's lettering. Tom Orzechowski did the lettering for all those old Batman, all those old X-Men books way back in the Marvel, and just so Tom Orzechowski for me is the definitive X-Men letterer, and it would have just nailed. This would have for me like would have nailed that Chris Claremont narrative voice visually, and that certain that hand, that font, there's a certain suchness to it. We do a lot of talking here. We do. Pika writes me, copious amounts of show notes. I have to read them all. If Punchline was created to be Harley 2.0, she has not been spending enough time with the Joker just to be justified as his new henchman girlfriend. Yeah, huh? What was it? Punchline was Tinian's thing, right? And Tinian brought in Punchline and Ghostmaker. And I wasn't reading Batman at that point. So, yeah, the only Punchline I really read was a Night Terrors spinoff, and it was just so desperately dunking on chuds. Like it was culture war-ish. Yeah, and so it was Venom issue number 30. This is written by Al Ewing, art by Cafu. Now, okay, I think I might understand where this is coming from. Okay, it's an allegory for smoking too much weed. Okay, and so it's like when you get the fear and you start getting a panic attack, but it's literally it's nothing but you fighting with yourself, and every voice in your head is just a different version of yours, of your voice, of you, and just in a different skin. All right, so you with me? Because this is Eddie Brock fighting nothing but other Eddie Brocks at some kind of intersection of symbiote where all times converge and all these Eddie Brocks and all these different symbiote things are fighting it out. So it's kind of like this. Is this some kind of allegory for having one of those smoke too much weed and you're freaking out? Is this an allegory for a marijuana freak out? I smoked a lot of weed in my life. I know what one feels like. The reading this comic book barely felt like that. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to find the positive in something, huh? JK, I think Punchline has a good design, but terrible development. Yeah, I think I like Punchline's design, and I like that. There's all we can do is learn more about her. But is she a gangster's mall? Again, what's a gangster's mall? It's an old archetype from the early 20th century, especially with gangster movies. And the gangster's mall was the gangster's girlfriend, who was perfectly fine with the way she got her jewels and her clothes. And remember, she's a young woman and she's with a younger person too, the gangster, and who is, she's made up her mind. She has agency and she's perfectly fine. She's made the conscious choice to accept the status quo for her benefit. And yeah, what else do we get? What else did we read? Oh, we read Ultimate Black Panther #1 by Brian Hill with amazing art by Stefano Caselli. I mean, the art in this is really good. This is overall a really good magazine, and it begins and ends with intrigue and mystery. But yeah, it's like if the maker went back and redacted all of the superheroes out of his perfect universe. Well, Black Panther's been a Wakandan legacy for the king for generations since ancient times. So, of course, it's like Black Panther is still Black Panther. Wakanda is still Wakanda. And yeah, I'll read a diabolical take two. A diabolical genius known as the Maker used time travel to create his ideal Earth by systematically preventing anyone from ever becoming a superhero and by establishing a secret council of supervillains that rules this world from the shadows. But recently, the Maker was locked away in a place called the City, and now the Maker's Council, who works to further exercise their influence on the world, including Ra and Khonshu, who oversee the continent of Africa. But just as the city's doors closed, the doors of Wakanda, an impenetrable kingdom concealed from the rest of the world, have begun to open. That's the info dump page as we open up this book. And it looks great. I mean, the art in it is pretty good. Stefano Caselli is really sharp. It's got good action, good intrigue. It's very Dune, very Game of Thrones-ish. And we got T'Challa, we've got Okoye, we got Shuri, we've got intrigue, we've got mechs, we've got a really good Black Panther outfit. I love the Black Panther suit. And the last page is really good too, because we reveal two other heroes that are very, very entwined over time with T'Challa, Eric Killmonger, and Aurora Monroe. Yeah, that's great. That was nice. I didn't buy it. I bought Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm gonna buy Ultimate Spider-Man, and I'm gonna buy Ultimate X-Men. So I don't buy everything. I can't buy everything. I don't have room. And that's about, yeah. So Black Panther #1 was really fun, and all these Ultimate titles are going to intertwine over time, and I'll probably, this isn't the last T'Challa that I'm going to see. I can tell you that much. We have Thanos issue #3 by Christopher Cantwell, and the Return of the Mad Titan Part 3. And it's the Illuminati versus Thanos, who's on Earth trying to woo Lady Death, not Brian Polito's Lady Death, but Death, who is Marvel's Death, the character, who's a woman who's Titan's in love with. I mean, Thanos is in love with, and calamity and hilarity ensues. Sure, I don't know. There was Star Wars Obi-Wan #5 of 6, written by Jodie Hauser, but it's more of like she's adapting the script and the show. And it says art by Salvador Larroca, who is a Marvel legend. He's done a lot of X-Men books. And then there's Guru EFX, the color artist, and Joe Caramanga, who is the letterer. And I've been noticing this over for a couple of issues of this now, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Oh, congratulations, JK. So that's always cool. Nice. There you go. So this is issue 5 of 6. I've been reading all of these. This is as close as I'm ever getting to the D+ show. But I noticed that like the art is just really, really photorealistic. And it's kind of like, yeah, it's too on point. It really is. And I'm thinking, like, I haven't seen the show, so I don't know if this is actual, like, camera shots. I mean, but these look like, were they just frozen? Like someone hit pause and then did digital art over it? And I don't get it. That's how it looks. And now this past week, I've seen like so many tweets about this issue being like, is this for real? Are you really saying like Salvador LaRocca is drawing this? I don't know. There is a Star Wars Mace Windu issue #1, written by Mark Bernardin, art by George Janti, with pencils by George Janti, inks by Dexter Vines, and it's set before a mission before the rise of the Separatists and the Clone Wars, and in a time before the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Galactic Empire, Jedi Knights are keepers of the peace. Before joining the Jedi Council, one brave Jedi travels the galaxy on a daring mission. He is known as Mace Windu. It's from the page. The art's pretty good. It's like, yeah, I usually like George Janti's art, but it's fine. I mean, this is like a stealth comic for Black History Month, because the creators are all African American, and it's about a Black Jedi. I mean, yeah, just yeah, and it's just like, it just looks like, I noticed this a couple of months ago, and I'm like, this is too tight. I mean, at least George Janti, does that weird, that very not, cartoony eye expression, when he's from afar, there's some foreshortening going on when you have someone in the front and someone in the back, or it's just like a different camera angle where it's not a close-up, it's a zoom out, so I don't know. There was Sensational She-Hulk #5, written by Rabo Rowell, with art by Ig Guara, and it's Gensational #5, when it's Girls' Night Out with Patsy Walker, the Hellcat, and Carol Danvers, the Captain Marvel, with Jennifer Walters, the She-Hulk, and they get into antics, and it's yeah, it's, I don't know, it's for girls, by girls. It's just, for something like that, it's so much better than Fire and Ice. You know what I mean? If you're having a superhero offering for women, by women, like I said, like if you look at a newsstand, you have Sports Illustrated, you have Popular Mechanics, you have Scientific American, you have Rolling Stone magazine, you also have Vogue, Teen Vogue, Mademoiselle, Cosmopolitan, Women's Health, shit like that. So it's treating the spinner rack like it's a newsstand, and that's just publication. Of course, I mean, sure, why not? I mean, there was Fantastic Four issue 17, which was a weird standalone kind of thing. It's like an old science fiction story, but its own twist to it. It's like the Fantastic Four are on, there's a dig, and they find a skeleton, and it ends up being one of them. Like the skeleton is like 400,000 years old or something, and it ends up being one of them with their head crushed in. like who met a violent death, and they figure out which one it is, and the mystery involved, and it becomes time travel and paradox and duplicates and leaving behind fake evidence. It's just like in like Heroes in Crisis in a way, that kind of Deus Ex Machina, and being in two places at once, time travel. It's just it's okay. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, the art's not bad. It's as a standalone kind of Fantastic Four issue. It's like the perils of Reed and Sue trying to have a date, and how just like the superhero life just always kind of just it throws its own wrench into their love life. And written by Ryan North, decent art by Carlos Gomez, and beautiful Alex Ross cover, by the way. Comics for women only appeal to a very narrow subset of women and do not read anything like successful women's literature. Good. That's a nice. That's a good way to look at it. See, Doctor Strange number 12. Again, a nice Alex Ross cover. Pascal Ferry has not returned to the book yet. So we got Danilo Beyruth and written by Jed McKay. Jed McKay is doing, he's doing a decent job. He's one of the bullpen, and Doctor Strange is pretty like hot or cold for me, I guess. And this one just it sounds like it feels like a Disney movie because you have Bats, the Ghost Hound, like, talking with the two snakes, and it's just very this is very Disney movie like. Didn't work for me. There's Daredevil Gang War number 3 of 4, and there will be a 4th issue, and that's about it. Yeah, I mean, it just. Speaking of the owl, I mean, the owl was is in the first page here, and trying to team up with Madame Mask and her Wolverine clone. There's a Wolverine clone, a girl one. So is it a Laura Kinney clone or no? I can't. I didn't care enough to keep this story straight, and I just read it this week. I didn't care enough to remember it. There's Captain America number 6 by J. Michael Straczynski and Lan Medina. And this wraps up his fight against the emissary in this really preachy, unsatisfactory story. I didn't like the art, didn't like the pacing. It ends up being pretty preachy by the end. I mean, which is interesting because you can have Captain America grandstand and be moralizing. And because by the end of it, like, it's like it just reminds you that like it's all about neo-Yazis and making it hard for immigrants, and it's just I don't know. It's a total miss with me. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Good to see you. Hey, Mark McGrath, good to see you. got 2 left here. The Avengers, issue number 10 by Jed McKay. This was pretty decent. It was Twilight Dreaming Part 4. So it's like the Avengers versus the Knights of the Round Table with Kang in the background. And I don't know. It's fine. It was a fine, perfectly enjoyable comic book, and I like Iron Man's new armor. That's about it. Hello. Who are we all pulling for in the Superb Owl today? Superb Owl, give a hoot. Seriously. Then there's Alien issue 4 by Declan Shelvey. This was just depressing. Went nowhere. It's nihilistic. He's got no hope. It's not even a horror story. Like, at least Alien has some good horror aspect to it, some grotesque to it, some tension. He had a little bit of that in the earlier issues when he had more of like the crew to dispose of one by one, and when like the crew dies horribly one by one, is like kind of like an Alien thing, because they don't like, no one deserves it in a way, and you have innocence in a sense, like, and you know, an innocent person, and like the plural of innocent, innocent, you know, like not as innocence is like a state of being. When they get picked off one by one, then they give pathos, a pathetic death, you know, and that like makes the ending more sweeter when the heroine, traditionally the heroine, the girl wins. It's always been that's always been the rules of Alien books and Alien movies, yeah. And so this one just ends with everyone dying, and it's just like a waste of everything. I mean, a waste of time, a waste of characters, a waste of story beats, a waste of using the property wisely to tell a satisfying story. I mean, this is a big nothing sandwich. This is just really because, and who's the most pathetic character in this? It was me for putting up with this and reading this. It was just, it's like, you remember the end of Star Wars Rogue One, where like you have your two leads, then they die on the beach together, and this, but it was a noble death because they actually got they transmitted the plans, and they got the plans to Princess Leia, so they did their job, and all they could do was just hold each other and be there for each other at the bittersweet ending. That was, you know, for Disney Star Wars, that last 20 minutes of Rogue One was top tier. That was the best that they did. So Aliens doesn't have that ending here. Not that there's nothing going on where they save the day. The only thing that happens is the site gets nuked from orbit, just like what Ripley said in Aliens 1986 Jim Cameron movie, just to be sure, you know. And that's just, and the story ends, and just it's just what a waste of time. I mean, again, Declan Shelvey, I mean, like, you got Lansing and Kelly writing Thunderbolts and a DC version of Planetary with Outsiders, when you could have Warren Ellis just do his job instead of having the knockoffs do it badly. And the same goes here for Alien with Declan Shelvey, who got his name and got his work with Warren Ellis as well, and who was often hired as a poor man's Warren Ellis. I'm not trying to knock him. He's it was just unsatisfactory. and Warren Ellis has literally done better Aliens books. He did Aliens versus Wildstorm. What was that? It was Aliens versus Stormwatch. It was just incredible. It was really good. Very same kind of pathetic deaths, heart-wrenching stuff. But there's nothing heart-wrenching going on here. Yeah. All right. And that's it for the digital comics this week. What's in the bag? That's right. We have come to that part of the conversation. What's in the bag? These are the comics that I bought at my local comic book shop, my LCS, this week. Plus, I also got a brick of boards. Remember, when you're buying supplies, keep it consistent. If you're getting Silver Age bags, you get Silver Age boards. If you get Current Age bags, get some Current Age boards. These are one-sided coated 100 boards, $14.99. And this bumped up my sale at the local comic book shop this week to $43. Now, one thing that I did not buy at the local comic book shop that I actually get through Amazon, my online supply chain, because I end up getting $2.50, at 25% discount for pre-ordering them. I pre-order these things as soon as they're available to, and they just show up 4 times a year. It's Dragon Ball Super on Viz Comics. It's written by Akira Toriyama with art by Toyotaro, and who does an amazing job of recreating Toriyama's style and sense and the feel of it. I mean, there's it's just, yes, he was hired by Toriyama to be his own clone because Toriyama is too old to draw like that. So this is the only manga I buy. This is manga number 20, and I don't know how long this is going on or how long it's going to be. I know that the manga here is, this is a whole arc past where the cartoon leaves off. I think the cartoon leaves off at the Budokai, the multiversal Budokai, and this goes into a different arc with Granola and Vegeta getting more and more into his ultra ego formation, his god of destruction, and just him finding that's who he is. Is if Goku is ultra instinct, Vegeta is ultra ego. I heard about Delicious. I've heard about this, and that's on my list of things to look for. And Mark McGrath says Rogue One was good, but the main ending was so dour. It is the king of pointless to try to spin Andor out of it when we know where it's going. I agree with that totally. And to have Star Wars stories, spy stories set, and this gritty underworld of the Star Wars universe. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, Dragon Ball Super. I still read it, and it's kind of fun, I guess. It just, I love these characters, so is this about my parasocial relationship with Vegeta and Bulma and Trunks and Goku and Chi-Chi and Gohan and Goten and Piccolo and Master Roshi? I love these characters. Love these characters. Good to see you, Pika. Not you, Pika Shades. My goodness. Good luck, Pika Shades. We'll see you out there on the Grand Superhighway and YouTubes with your, and when you publish your next video. Indeed. Thanks. Yeah. All right. What's in the bag? What did I buy this week? Kakarato cake. As I said, let's put a pin in it. I got 5 floppies this week. 5. Count them. I got Kneel Before Zod, issue number 2. This is a variant cover. It's interesting because oh, cool. Yeah, let me know when you're there. I should be there all weekend. I already bought my passes. Hey, Bone, what up? Smash a like button, por favor. But yeah, Neil Before Zod, issue number 2. This is by Joe Casey, art by Dan McDade, and bring on the bad guys. Yeah, I really like it. It is slow. And but you know, it's I don't know. I think it's going somewhere, and it really showcases the bad guys. All right, and they don't make good choices, or they do for themselves. Anybody going to get Sinister Sons? I don't know. Yeah, me too. Let's see. What else did I get? I ended up getting, this came out the week before, but as I say, like if you buy something, I mean, if you read something online and you really like it, you should go back and buy it. I mean, and oh, yeah, it just ratchets it up. Like, where's this? It's only got one more issue as well, I believe. This is a 3-issue mini, correct? Does anyone know? Let me know. I got Marvel Voices Legends number 1. I really ended up liking all the stories in this. We have one about Patriot, one about Deathlock. We have one with Colleen Wing and Misty Knight, and a really nice one with an old Aurora and T'Challa hanging out with their grandchildren. And that just made my heart swell and feel good. I really enjoyed that story a lot. Here, look at it. Ain't that cute? Aw. They got their grandma's eyes, and I like that. Look at that. Aw. There is room for melodrama. But what I liked most about this was this. There's like this Marvel interview with Dennis Cowan, and this for me was, I really like that. It's an interview. It's a magazine. It's got an interview in it. Go figure. An article with copy, just print. It's not about it. It's just about behind the scenes, and it's about Dennis Cowan, who is this legendary. Now, this is the Black History Month celebration issue. So this is all about African American and creators of color, and that's, but this is the Black History Month celebration issue. And Dennis Cowan was a Black creator in the 70s and 80s. And there's some really good stuff in here, such as, it's 12 issues. Oh, that's cool. That's good to know. And it's not singing for me, but you do want Tomasi's Ghost Machine books. He called the shop to pull. Nice. And but yeah, I mean, this. So I bought it there was a couple of reasons why I bought this. Was the Patriot story was really good. Patriot versus Taskmaster, too. Actually, no, Crossbones. And it's a story I think we've all seen before, but still, I guess it's just the way you do it. And yeah, this is just fine. I liked it a lot. So I went back and paid for it. And that's that. What was it, $5.99? Yeah, that's it. It's like, I don't think it's going to raise in value. I don't think it's a key issue. It's it's just a comic book, and it's just sometimes it is what it is. It's sometimes a funny book is just a funny book. I got Bloodrick number 3 of 3. This is by Andrew Cranky. This is really good line art. And this is we have an unreliable narrator, and then we have the story of Bloodrick himself, who is this unsuccessful hunter. It's weird because he's this like brawny beast of a man, like in the Conan kind of mold, but he's kind of also a failure too, and he keeps failing. And he's kind of got like panic and anxiety in a bit too, but also at the same time, he's a bit like a heavy metal song too. But this is great art though. This is Leia. And in the end, Bloodrick gets his hunt, and he gets to taste blood. Yeah. It was fun. It's just 3 issues, and I bought them. And yeah, huh? Mm-hmm. Me too. Love that stuff. My favorite Dennis Cowan was Batman Blind Justice. It's collected in a nice trade paperback you might be able to find. But I got it originally in that Batman heyday for me when I was 14, 15, 16, leading up to the Tim Burton movie. It was Detective 598, 599, and 600. They were written by Sam Hamm, who did the screenplay for Batman 89 for Tim Burton. But Dennis Cowan did the art for that. Dick Giordano did the inks, I believe, and it's just good stuff. Good. I mean, so that was one of my favorite all-time Batman stories. And it's still on my spinner rack. I would love to find those floppies. That would be great. What else? I got Moon Man on Image Comics. Yeah, from this is issue 1, and this is it's on Mad Solar, which is it's an imprint written by Kid Cudi and Kyle Higgins. Pretty decent art too by Marco Lucati, and letters by Hassan Atmani Allahu. He's so hot right now. And I don't know. I gave it a chance. I read it as part of my digital pirate chest. And like I said, just if you find something good, if you read something good pirated, go back and buy it from your local comic book shop. Yeah, this was pretty interesting. It's a pretty good first issue. And to just to put yourself into a new story with new characters. Give things a chance. Give Moon Man a chance. Yeah, give a new title a chance. It's not just all big 2 superhero stories. Get to your shop to order the Jam Urban Adventures before it sells out. Here you go. From the man himself, from Fantastic Comics of Berkeley, California. Huzzah! Yeah, huh? Exactly. He was talking in that interview in Marvel Legends. He talked about how he worked for Neil Adams at his ad agency, and that how he learned just like so much of the trade doing commercial art, and like how he was a kid in high school and he got into the in Queens, and he got into the the art high school in Manhattan, and he had to like, commute into the city every day. But that's what he had, a natural talent. He was gifted. And yeah, just great interview. Yeah. And that was the selling point for me. It was just like the interview with Dennis Cowan. I mean, like, that's why and the stories were pretty solid. I mean, all of them. Yeah. Go out and get yourself a copy of Marvel Voices Legends #1. Yeah. You'll probably still find it on the shelf. And it was pretty good. Yeah. No, but no, you shouldn't hate to admit it. You're paid for the service, and you get like so much access to so many different books and back issues. The last one I got, I got it for a specific reason, because I wanted to see what the ads were like. Who is this marketed to? Because of the cover price and the content. And I got the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries issue #2. And this is being sold for $2.99, ages 8 and up. And we have a style guide Bible rendition of Scooby-Doo and of Batman. Now here, we're going to look at a comic book. We're going to look at some ads. Like, how we look at the old comic books. We say, hey, look, video game ad, shit like that. In the back cover, we have by Grace Ellis, drawn by Penelope Rivera Gaylord. Now available. It's Diana and the Hero's Journey. And this is some this isn't even young. This isn't YA. This is before that. This is wine on stuff that they buy for kids. No, this is pretty good story wise. Yeah. But yeah, so we have the, scholastic version of this. All right. Then here's the other inside cover. We've got, now this is YA. It says for kids. Will super secrets doom their friendship? It's Clark and Lex, a young Superman graphic novel. Young Superman was Superboy. Durr. Written by New York Times bestselling author Brendan Reichs and art by Jerry Gaylord. Before Lex loses his hair, we have Metropolis Grove, a new graphic novel for kids. Written and illustrated by Drew Brockington. Metropolis Grove, new home, new friends, and a new superhero. Filled to the cape with friendship and adventure. Ryan North. I mean, and here's your indicia for the issue. But here you go. I mean, look, once again, we got Teen Titans Go to the Library Quiet, a new graphic novel for kids. That's 4 house ads trying to sell other books to kids. And we say all the time that comic books floppies aren't made for kids anymore. But here's DC as a publisher. Still, that are these selling to kids? Yeah. But they're in Slaughter Swamp of Gotham. Ain't that cool? And it's Solomon Grundy. And look, that's real Velma. That's real Daphne, real Fred, real Scoob, and real Shaggy. And that's the real Mystery Machine. And that is the old, look at that. That's the old Hanna-Barbera style. This is like Style Guide Bible stuff. And look at this Batman. That Batman is specific of the Alex Toth design of Super Friends. Seriously, so much so that even in the writing here, it sounds, I can, like, in the voice bubbles, in the word balloons, I can hear Ulan Sule's voice. Ulan Sule did the voice of Batman and Super Friends. And, look at that. That's pretty cool. Velma as Carrie Kelly with a V instead of an R. See, that's cute, huh? That would make a nice action figure too, So yeah, I mean, but look at that Batman. He doesn't have pouches on his utility belt. He's got pods. This is like, that is primo, like 1970s gold oval with blue cape and cowl. Oh gosh, that's my Batman. But this was a pretty fun issue. It's just a goofy story. And this is a lot like a cartoon to me. And here's some preview art of that Bizarro story. And it's Metropolis Grove. Yeah. Here we go. And that's it. And that is it for comic books this week. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you so very much. All right. Anything else going on? Anything on the list here, Pika? No? That's last week's notes. Everything's scratched off. Well, that's about it for this week. Awesome. Thank you so very much. We've been talking about comic books, and we've been talking about the new releases. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Unless there's anything else out there in the world of comic books that you want to talk about, if you're out there in the chat, let me know. But I'm going to wrap it up. It's superb Owl Sunday, and I'm not watching the game. I'm going to bed early. I gotta be up in the morning. I got no time for this football stuff. Well, thank you so very much. Please like and subscribe. We also are the home for tactical and practical spirituality, your dojo for tactical and practical spirituality, the kind that will get you some real traction and how to reformat your self-talk and make a better, you should be in this kind of like hero teen sidekick relationship with your self-talk. You shouldn't have to, to be fighting with it or be nagging or be negative. No, you should be a team. And thank you so very much for tuning in. And we will see you on Wednesday for the new release preview. And that will start at 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern now. And we will talk. Oh, thank you very much. And go sail the seas and read Beneath the Trees. That's a solid rec from Fear Monarch. Awesome. Thank you so very much. And we will see you all out there. And God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you out there in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.